What's up, everybody? I'm Derek. This is Rocking E-Truck. Welcome to part 4 of my road trip across the United States from California to Connecticut. I just spent a few days in Murfreesboro, Tennessee at a wedding for a good friend of mine, and I'm getting back on the road headed to Mammoth Cave. So without any further ado, let's get into it. Whoop. All right, everybody, after a few days of hiatus here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, I am getting back on the road, and I am heading to Mammoth Cave National Park. Now, that is in Kentucky, and I'm actually going to go basically due north to Mammoth Cave from here, and then back to Tennessee to the Pigeon Forge area to hit the Great Smoky Mountains National Park tomorrow. But I also need to get my truck serviced. I'm not sure if you can hear the turn signal clicking wildly. It's because my driver's side front turn signal has gone out for the first time in almost 50,000 miles. So between needing an oil change, because I've driven enough mileage in this trip to need it, and the turn signal, I figured I better get it done. So when I'm in Kentucky, I'm gonna get my truck serviced tomorrow morning, and then hit Pigeon Forge by the evening, and the Great Smoky Mountain National Park probably the next morning. It'll depend on how early I get everything done with the truck. And while I was here in Murfreesboro, just south of Nashville, southwest of Nashville, I was a groomsman in a lovely wedding for one of my best friends from back in college, and it was an absolutely fantastic time. Got to see a little bit of Nashville for one night. A group of us went out to the downtown strip of Nashville where all the live music bars are. Unfortunately, based on the timing of meeting up with people yesterday, I wasn't able to hit the Country Music Hall of Fame. I was kind of planning to try to do that this morning, and got on the road, a little later than I would have liked, and realized that it's a half hour to Nashville. I'd spend who knows how long trying to find parking for my truck in this trailer, and then I would spend probably 2 hours in the museum before driving another 2.5 to 3 hours to Mammoth, just to probably be later than the visitor center was open, have a hard time finding a campsite and stuff like that. So I got on recreation.com, booked a campsite, and I'm on my way to Mammoth Cave for the morning. So it's been a blast. Tennessee's been awesome. Lots of real nice people. The roads here are spaghetti. Let's just say that. It is kind of crazy to get around here, but I've managed. But it's been really cool. Got to do a lot of fun things with some old fraternity brothers that I haven't ever met or haven't seen in years. So it's been, it'll hold a special place in my heart for the trip and honestly for the rest of my life. So it's been awesome. Got to sing a little bit, got to dance a little bit, and it's just been great. So heading to Mammoth Cave, and I'm just gonna safely continue to drive. So we'll see you in a little bit. This is incredible. Absolutely amazing. Mammoth Cave. 470 some miles of cave system. Longer, certainly, than the Carlsbad Caverns that I toured earlier. Pretty amazing. It goes pretty deep. I don't know how far behind the tour group we are, but time to catch up. Good morning. It is the 10th of October. I didn't have any cell reception at the Mammoth Cave campground this morning, so I had to just kind of wing it on my way to Greene. I think that's the right name of the town, because I need to get this truck serviced before I drive any further in this trip. So I have a 10 o'clock appointment at the Toyota dealership in Greene, Kentucky, but it's quite the adventure. It wasn't really. It was like 10 minutes of driving without cell reception, just kind of guessing, and I ended up in a town called Pig, Kentucky. I kid you not. Pig, Kentucky. Real small, obviously. It was like, I don't think I was even in a town when I drove through it. It was just like a bunch of farmland and a diner at the road that I drove in on. Anyway, so last night, I would have filmed kind of a highlights of the day thing, but I ran out of space on my phone, so I had to break out the laptop and move everything to a file on my laptop, like a ton of footage and pictures off my phone, so that I could actually use my phone the rest of the trip, because I was at quite literally, it told me it was at 99% storage. So yesterday I got into the Mammoth Cave campground about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and I offloaded my motorcycle, backed the truck and trailer into the campsite, and rode up to the Mammoth Cave National Park Visitor Center and did the historic tour. They have a bunch of different tours available. I did the historic tour, which was a walk through the cave, through a portion of the cave. Obviously, it's like 400 some miles of cave tunnels, so we didn't do the whole of it, obviously. We walked through a portion of the cave with a couple of rangers, and they gave, had a couple stops and gave a little history of what people did with the cave throughout the years. At least the portion we were in, the Mammoth Cave, was originally a mine. Well, it was originally a cave found thousands of years ago by Native Americans and used for generations, and then colonists found it and started to mine it for gypsum and for saltpeter, or at least nitrate heavy soil that could be used to make gunpowder. It was actually mined heavily for gunpowder during the War of 1812, which is pretty cool. So neat history. Walking through the cave was not as beautiful, I would say, as Carlsbad Caverns. Carlsbad is just an alien world, whereas the Mammoth Cave is just walking through long, drawn-out canyons and tunnels and passages, and it's incredible in its own way. But I have a special place in my heart for Carlsbad, because that cave was absolutely beautiful. So after we finished the tour, it was about 2 hours 15 minutes long, and we came up and we had to step on these little mats, kind of squishy mats with some sort of liquid in and underneath them, to remove any possibility of us tracking a particular fungus out of the cave that is infecting their bat population. We didn't see any bats. I don't think we ever got anywhere close to any bats, but there's a sickness called white nose syndrome or white nose disease or something that's infecting a lot of their bats. And then I wandered back up to the visitor center to use the restroom and kind of figure out where food might be, because I was pretty hungry. I'd gotten a hot dog before we went down into the cave, but that was, only so much, and it was now almost 5 p.m. So I hopped on my bike and I rode to Cave City, Kentucky, and I had some chicken and dumplings at Cracker Barrel. First ever chicken and dumplings at Cracker Barrel. Pretty good. Not quite as good as Mama used to make, but pretty darn good. So after that, I came back to the campsite, stuck the motorcycle in front of the truck, crawled into the back of the truck, and just kind of chilled for the rest of the night. I journaled, because I am catching up on my journal, and I'm like 9 days behind at this point. So I need to catch up on that, and that kind of sums up my day. Just journaled until, 10 or 11, and I got some sleep. Woke up this morning, it was about 45 degrees outside, and I did not want to get out of the sleeping bag, let's just say that. Finally got up, and I'm on my way to a Toyota dealership, and after getting my truck serviced, I am heading back to Tennessee to Pigeon Forge, because I have a cousin staying in Pigeon Forge right now, vacationing, that I'm going to go see, that I wasn't able to see during my drive through Texas because of how shortened that trip got. And 2, I am going to go hit up Great Smoky Mountain National Park, and maybe Dollywood, because I didn't get the chance to do the Country Music Hall of Fame, so I'm a little interested in going to see Dollywood in the Gatlinville, Pigeon Forge area. So I'll update this video once I'm back on the road. Whoop. All right, so I am back on the road heading to Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. I got about 4.5 hours on the road today, and it is just afternoon. So I am trying to just kind of truck my way through as quickly and efficiently as I can. I'll probably have to stop for a bathroom break and a snack at some point later in the afternoon. But I am heading to Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, and while my truck was getting serviced, I stopped at a Waffle House and got breakfast. First Waffle House I've been to in probably 5 years, and it tastes the same. Wonderful place. I love Waffle House. If you're from the north and you haven't been to a Waffle House yet, the next chance you get to go to the south, make sure you visit a Waffle House. It is nigh on a religion in the south. So after the Waffle House, I knew I still had a little bit of time before my truck would be ready. So I managed to find an aviation heritage park and small museum in Bowling Green, Kentucky. Had their really nice shape, and the museum was freshly opened by like 2 weeks. So nice little place to visit, good little place to kill about 45 minutes, which was perfect. I read all the little placards around in front of the aircraft. It was interesting to see all of the aviation heritage of Kentucky. Each of the pilots highlighted at the museum were Kentucky natives, born and raised, and most of them ended up back in Kentucky after they retired. So it was a nice little time, and it took up the little time I had before going back to get my truck. Went back, got the truck, hooked up the trailer again, because I had to take the trailer off for the service. Hooked the trailer up, put the bike back on, grabbed some coffee and some gas, and I got back on the road. So we got about 4 hours and 15 minutes left on the road today, which in the grand scheme of things ain't too bad. At least in the grand scheme of this trip, ain't too bad. So should get there, before too awful late, even with stops and snack breaks. So I'm gonna keep going, and we'll see you in a little bit. I have never, ever seen anything like this. Holy smokes. It's gonna be a while before I find a pump. Okay, so I didn't realize the intensity of Buc-ee's, or that could be Buc-ee's in the South. Had to explore it myself, and now I'm regretting it a bit because, well, I've been sitting here for about 5 minutes. I have made it 1 car length ahead, and no one's moved. So that's fun. Absolutely insane place. And I asked one of the employees, apparently this is the medium-sized, and the biggest is near Gatlinburg, which is the direction I'm driving right now. Presuming that I don't have to drive my way into that necessarily, I am actually kind of interested to see the large version, or the biggest in the country. But yeah, this has been an experience, let's just say that much. I got gas at $2.88 a gallon, which is the cheapest I've seen in, I don't know, probably a decade, which is pretty sweet. But I wandered around Buc-ee's, went to the restroom, and then wandered around the massive gift shop. Didn't see anything that really caught my eye other than some things that I would need to own a house for. So crazy experience. This is the biggest travel center thing that I've ever seen. So, and apparently this is the medium. Pretty nuts. So anyway, back on the road in an indefinite amount of time. We'll find out. It took 18 minutes get like 200 feet. I am finally out of the Buc-ee's parking lot waiting for the light to turn green so I can turn left and get back on the freeway. I think I actually wasted more gas sitting in the parking lot trying to get out than I filled up. I don't think I'm coming back here. Give me a regular gas station. I'll skip the gift shop. Thanks. Where am I right now? This is Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, apparently, and it might as well be its own amusement park. So, this is the hotel I managed to stay in Pigeon Forge. Oh good, there's more building, thank goodness. It just makes you think of a haunted hotel. This is quite the town. Quite the town. The helicopter tours, old-time photos. We got the Titanic up there ahead of us. Real impressed they managed to get that off the bottom of the ocean. Hatfields and McCoy's Dinner Feud. That's an upside-down building. That's a sideways building. And the Titanic again. Apparently that's a real cool museum to stop in at, so I might do that tonight, this evening. Real neat, you know, main drag through the town at least. King Kong on the buildings over there to the left. Hollywood Wax Museum. Got the good old Cracker Barrel, which is always good. Yeah, it's just a cute little touristy town. Now I got in here to Pigeon Forge late last night here about, well, not late, but like about 6:30. Got dinner at the Cracker Barrel and got a hotel room because seeing my cousins that are vacationing here didn't work out last night. Just got done with breakfast with them, and now I am on the road about half hour south to Gatlinburg to the Great Smoky Mountains National Park, one of the visitor centers at least, and then I'll see how long I want to stay or drive through the park to see the sights. Not much into hiking personally, at least for this trip. I don't want to take too awful long there. I do want to get back here and explore Pigeon Forge a little bit more, go to that museum and stuff. There's a castle on the side of the street here. Magic Quest. There's a lot of little towns that try to do like Vegas style stuff, but in a country or redneck style, and I kind of love it. Nashville had their own almost Vegas strip of just bars, all live music, and you know, it was like Jason Aldean and Dierks Bentley and Alan Jackson, and everybody had their own bar on this street. It was pretty cute, pretty cool, but it's awesome. I love Tennessee so far. It's been super cool. Kentucky was nice, but like really just kind of farmland. That was about it. And the cave. Whereas Nashville has got a lot of that too. A lot of farmland, a lot of ranch land, but a lot of just like cool little tourist towns that are just full of awesome stuff to do. But I got about half hour down to Gatlinburg and the national park, so we're gonna stay safe on the road and stop recording, and we'll check back in once I get to the park. Whoop. I just got done at the Old Forge Distillery and the Old Forge. And it was absolutely a blast. Great whiskey, great blacksmiths, lots of fun blacksmithing talk. I had an absolute blast. This has been an absolutely fantastic evening. I'm about to go hang out with my cousins and uncle for dinner. So we'll see you all in a little bit. And with that, that's going to do it for today's video. We're going to get the footage and photos from the Great Smoky Mountains National Park in the next video, so please stay tuned, and I think that may be my last part of this video series. Might not. We'll see how everything kind of works out in the editing process. But if you enjoyed this video, please drop a like, leave a comment, hit subscribe, ring that notification bell. If you want to support me and the channel further, please consider becoming an honorary striker on my Patreon. Links in the description below the video. And as always, keep on rocking.